Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Darshaun McAway. You're tuned in to Wild Podcast. By all means, go to wildpodcast.me. That's WOWPODCAST.me. Now, today we have a special guest. We're talking to Darren Prince. He's the author of Aiming High: How a Prominent Sports and Celebrity Agent Hit Bottom at the Top. Darren, how are you doing today?
Good, man. Thanks for reaching out.
What made you want to come out and tell your story about drug addiction?
I just figured the time is right with everybody suffering from this opiate epidemic, or I should say knowing somebody's suffering from the opiate epidemic. And I was always looking for the platform, and knowing that all my athletes and celebrities and VIP relationships were in complete support of it, it was the perfect time. I've never been one of those agents that have asked my clients for favors. It's not my personality, but this is one that's about changing and saving lives. So, the timing was perfect.
Usually when I hear about like drug addiction, I've heard the stories about people hitting rock bottom. If you don't mind, what was rock bottom for you, and why is hitting rock bottom so important for people to bring themselves out of that situation?
Well, I mean, when it comes to addiction, alcoholism, substance abuse, there's really three options. It's you kind of either get locked up, covered up, or you come through on the other side. And fortunately, I was one that came through on the other side. And it was July 2nd, 2008. I was detoxing for about 24 hours at that point, thanks to my uncle and his then girlfriend, Andrea, that were both in the 12-step fellowship for recovered addicts and alcoholics. And she taught me about this softer, easier way to a better life. And I was ready. I was sick and tired of living this double life from the age of 14 years old and thinking that the outside world thought I had it put together working for some of the most iconic figures in the world, when truly I was living imposter syndrome. I was highly functioning as an opiate addict. I had all the external success, but broken on the inside.
I'm sure you've already been through this and you've already established it, but how difficult or how hard was it to, I guess, gain people's trust again since they knew your current circumstances?
Well, my situation was a little bit different, my circumstances, because the way I like to put it, I wasn't a bad person. I was more of a sick person,
Okay.
Deep in the depths of opiate addiction. And I always try to do the right thing to the best of my ability, but I was just broken. And I think the fact that I came out and started talking about it even before I got sober, that I needed help, created a lot of admiration from my clients and the relationships that I spent a lifetime building. So when they knew I needed the help and was trying to get myself better, I think it made it a lot easier for them to support me and cheer for me on this journey to, like I said, to come through on the other side and turn my bottom into a brand new beginning.
How did you end up coming into contact with Kristen McGinnis to help you towards the book?
My publisher, Anna David, and I met by chance. She's in recovery. I think she's celebrating 18 years now, so we're going back 3 years. She was probably on year 15. I was on year 9. And when I met her, we had a meeting in L.A., and I just started talking to her about recovery. And I just got honored by New Jersey's largest rehab center. I was at the White House. I was on Dr. Oz with Daryl Strawberry talking about my addiction, and she just said to me, "Your story's amazing. You're so passionate, and it just seems like you're so real and authentic. And have you ever thought about writing a book?" And I was thinking, my father passed away, what was it, maybe 6-7 months earlier. We had the most amazing relationship in the world. He was 81 in perfect health, and he always wanted me to write a book, but I don't really feel comfortable about writing about the agent life. It's kind of what I do. It's not who I am. And I'm a recovered opiate addict, drug addict, looking to give this gift away to people. And she's like, "What if I gave you a synopsis on how this would work?" And it's okay. Listen, I'm listening. And she goes, "You talk about the hell of your 24-year addiction to the beauty of spiritual recovery, like taking the rest of the world on this journey on what it's like to work for some of the most iconic figures of our time." And the light bulb went on. I'm like, "That's it." I was like, now I can combine both and get to the masses who want to read about the sports and celebrity agent life, yet with one goal in mind, to help save lives.
I know you came out with this book. Has it been like over about 2 years now?
Yeah, it's about a year and a half, and we're already talking about another one, the next book. I mean, but this thing hasn't slowed down because, like I said, everybody knows somebody affected by the opiate epidemic.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the people who listen to my podcast and my supporters and stuff like that, a lot of them, when they write their stories, they're coming from a past drug addiction as well. And I try to find out, like, how did you get out of it? And when I heard you on the Breakfast Club, I thought it was a great opportunity to reach out to you because you're the type of person that you've been under a lot of celebrities or stars, so to speak, and people kind of see that from the television or hear from the radio, and they really want to know, like, how to bring themselves out of those slums. So, some words of encouragement to somebody who's just on the brink of, I guess hitting rock bottom or trying to get out of rock bottom. What would you say to them right now?
Know that you don't have to live this way anymore, and the strength is when you actually ask for the help. And adversity in life introduces us to our true selves. So if you find yourself in hell like I was, just keep going. And like I said, don't be afraid to ask for help. That's where the strength comes. That's where the breakthrough comes. And there's no such thing as losing in life. It's all learning and trying to better ourselves. So then once you get that gift the way I did, make sure you're psychotic about giving it away to other people, because that's how you keep it.
That's great. So what's your social media or your website so people can, follow you and see what's going on and how you're connecting with the stars?
And at agent_DP. The business website is www.princemarketinggroup.com. It's PRINCE, marketinggroup.com. And then the personal site for my recovery is officialdarrenprince.com, DARRENPRINCE.
Well, I'm your host, Darshaun McAway. You're listening to Wild Podcast. We're talking to Darren Prince. He's the author of Aiming High, How a Prominent Sports and Celebrity Agent Hit Bottom at the Top. Darren, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man. We'll be in touch.